Om Shanti. This is the Avyakt Murli of 16th of January 1979, and the title is The Way to Become One Who Constantly Has the Tilak, Crown and Throne. Bapdada was seeing the difference between the present and the future of all the children. On seeing the children at the present moment, Bapdada was happy, and yet, at the same time, on seeing the unique behavior of some of the children, he also felt mercy. Baba makes you so elevated, yet, because of some small mistake, because of their carelessness, children come down from their elevated stage. Today, Bapdada was especially looking at the various amusing forms of the children. As soon as you take Brahmin birth in the confluence age, Bapdada gives you the crown of serving the world. However, today Baba saw an entertaining game. Some had the crown and also their tilak, but others were carrying on their head a bundle of the big and small sins they had committed now and in the past, and also the burden of their disobedience. Some were wearing a crown, whereas others had a bundle on their head. The bundles were number-wise, some big and others small. Instead of being double light, instead of constantly being a trustee in Brahmin life, some had a basket of various burdens on their head. On seeing this, Bapdada felt mercy for them. What did he see? You have been given many easy methods by the Father, but because your intellect is not constantly linked, because you make easy things difficult, because you have adopted difficult methods, many of you have become visibly tired. Instead of experiencing this to be an easy path, some of you seemed to be having to force yourself to use the means of effort. What else did Baba see? Just as the sun is hidden when clouds come in front of it, so too, because of the clouds of Maya coming again and again, many children step away from the sun of knowledge and then try to find the sun again. Sometimes they would be in front of the sun, and sometimes they would step away from it. They remain busy in playing this game. As well as this, because some children are mischievous, they come out of Baba's lap of remembrance and begin to play in the dust of Maya and the mud of body consciousness. Instead of playing with the jewels of knowledge, they play with mud. Baba moves them away from the mud again and again, but because of their sanskars of creating mischief, they still become dirty. Some children are attracted by attractive things that bring temporary happiness. They become so engrossed in those things that for that duration they forget about the imperishable attainment of the present time. Then they later regain consciousness. Baba saw many unique forms of the children. Now, check yourself to see what your form is. Bapdada wants to see every child constantly in this elevated form. Why do you put aside your crown and heart throne and carry a basket of burdens? Do you prefer the crown, the basket, or the bundle? If all three images were placed in front of you, which of the three would you prefer? You have been playing all these wonderful games for 63 births. What game do you want to play now? at the confluence age? The best game is the game of the children meeting the Father. Play with the jewels of knowledge that you have received from the Father. There is such a vast difference between jewels and mud. What are you going to do now? You have been playing childish games of carelessness and mischief for a long time. The time for going into the stage of retirement is now coming closer. Therefore, now have determination to finish all of those things, because one who constantly has the crown, tilak, and throne, all three are deeply connected. If you have the tilak, you would definitely have the crown. Always keep your elevated fortune and your elevated attainments in front of you. When you constantly keep in front of you all your attainments and the one from whom you have attained everything, you can never become weak in facing Maya. Simply remember one thing: Bap Dada is with you in all relationships and in everything you do. It is only when you let go of Baba's companionship that you end up playing these unique games. When you have the company of the Father, who carries the responsibility for the whole world, why do you still carry a basket filled with the burdens of your limited responsibilities? Can the one who is carrying the burden of the whole world not carry your little burden? Because you become influenced by your old sanskars, you pick up that bundle of burdens again and again. Then, when you become tired, you cry out for liberation. On the one hand, you hold on to everything, and on the other hand, you call out for liberation. Once you let go, you can become free. This courage of 1 second frees you from all the many type of burden for many birds. Do you remember the first promise you made to Baba? Mine is one Shiv Baba and none other. When the consciousness of mine has finished, and only one who is yours remains, how can you have the consciousness of mine about the limited responsibilities? Where did the consciousness of mine for your own body come from? Where did the consciousness of mine for sanskars of weakness come from? You call yourselves enlightened souls. However, to be an embodiment of knowledge means that you are thinking, speaking, and doing are all equal and constantly powerful. Every act of an enlightened soul is as powerful as the Father's act. Your sanskars, virtues, and task should be as powerful as those of the Father. Those who remain stable in a powerful stage cannot engage themselves in those amazingly wasteful games. While constantly remaining busy in the game of celebrating a meeting with Bap Dada, become equal to Baba and make others equal to the Father. So what will you do this year? Why have you been given this extra time for the self? This extra time is also very significant. It is so that those who have come later do not complain that they have received very little time. Just as when you buy something, you are given a little of something else free. So too, according to the drama, this extra time for service has been entrusted to you. Therefore, use this treasure with which you have been entrusted according to Bap Dada's elevated directions. Do you understand what you have to do now? When you keep yourself busy in world service, at every moment and in every second, all of those wasteful games will automatically stop. This is the result that Bap Dada wants to see. Acha? To those who consider themselves to be trustee at every second and in every thought, to those who maintain the powerful thought of belonging to the one Father and none other, to those who are constantly busy in thinking benevolent thoughts for world benefit, to those whose sanskars are as powerful as the Father, to those who bade farewell to everything wasteful by constantly remaining in Father's company, to the children who are enlightened souls and who remain seated on His heart throne, to such children, Bap Dada's love, remembrance, and namaste. Bap Dada meeting a group from Nairobi. Do all of you consider yourselves to be the handful of great souls from the few out of multi-millions? The more you consider yourself to be an elevated soul, the more every act you do will automatically become elevated because your stage becomes equal to your awareness. You have already experienced this by remaining in the awareness of the body for half a kalpa. What was your stage like? You experienced temporary happiness and temporary sorrow. So, when you constantly have the awareness of soul consciousness, your stage will automatically become one of permanent happiness and peace. Do you have this awareness? Acha. Your occupation is that of a purifier, and so easily conquer Maya with this awareness. All of you rivers of knowledge are constantly connected with the ocean. You are the ones to whom many souls come in order to bathe in knowledge and become pure. So, do you constantly remain engaged in this task of purifying others? Rivers are only important when they are connected to an ocean. If a river does not flow into a sea or ocean, it becomes stagnant. You living rivers are praised as purifiers. Therefore, remain occupied in your task. To remain unoccupied means to be attacked by Maya. To remain occupied means to be protected from Maya. So, do you constantly remain occupied? Or do you still feel mercy for that companion, Maya, you have had for such a long time that you give her a chance to come? One never forgets one's occupation. Your occupation is that of a purifier. Therefore, don't forget your occupation. Don't leave your occupation, and you will be able to become a conqueror of Maya. Those who constantly conquer Maya are able to be seated on Baba's heart throne. To be defeated means to come off the throne. When someone is defeated, he doesn't receive the throne. So here, too, to be defeated by Maya means to come off the throne. The occupation of teachers is to constantly remain a mind of contentment and to make everyone content. Teachers are always content. To be a teacher means that you are constantly engaged in serving others and making them content. To the extent that you are complete, you will accordingly be able to make others the same. The specialty of teachers is to be content about everything. Only when you are equal to the Father in His virtues and His task will you be able to remain content. Always check that the Father's virtues are your virtues and that the Father's task is your task. Those who check themselves in this way remain constantly content and also make others content. Teachers are minds of contentment. They are always full and unending like a mine. This is the occupation of teachers. At the time of taking leave, how many 18th January anniversaries have gone by? What is the result of all the years that have gone by? The result required is that of transformation. The signs of the previous year should not continue this year. So, what newness have you brought? At the end of your visit to Madhuban, you are asked what you are leaving behind and what you are taking back with you. So too, in this year's result, check what you have renounced and what you have attained. You are celebrating the new year, and the new year means a year filled with newness. Check amongst yourselves to see what results there are. See to what extent you think that on the whole there has been transformation within the majority. This is why Bapdada told you earlier that he would come to see the result. So, what is the result? Service is increasing and all the serviceable souls are also progressing in their efforts. When the balance is equal between the two, completion will take place. Do all of you remain happy while remembering your elevated fortune of the confluence age? In no other age can you receive the fortune that you receive in the confluence age. Each second of the confluence age is extremely fortunate. Each second is instrumental to create your fortune for many births. Therefore, while constantly remembering such an elevated fortune, see how much fortune you have within yourself and constantly dance and sing in happiness. Wow, how wonderful is my fortune! Can your internal happiness be seen externally? Others who see you should experience you to have found or attained something. Remain constantly happy in this way. Constantly pay attention so that Maya cannot snatch your treasure of happiness away. Acha, blessing, may you be an embodiment of happiness and become cry-proof by having all your tears dried in the heat of yoga. Many children say that they cry because so and so is causing them sorrow. However, even though the other person is giving, why do you accept that? Their duty is to give, but you should not accept it. Children of God never cry. Their tears have stopped. There are no tears in the eyes or in the mind. Where there is happiness, there can be no tears. To shed tears of love or happiness is not crying. So, let all your tears be dried in the heat of yoga and consider all obstacles to be a game, and you will then become an embodiment of happiness. Slogan: maintain the royalty of your purity, and you will become detached from all limited attractions. Om Shanti.